Well, what we have is a Christmas golden oldies. Now, several months ago, you loved the first collection of golden oldies. Well, now we have a Christmas selection, and Heidi's been busy creating some wonderful things like this with our Super Santa, and that's one of the pieces that we'll be sharing with you. So please, come play with us. Well, before we get into Heidi's projects, let me just show you what's in this collection. I'm going to start with the Perfect Picture Golden Oldies. And these are 8 by 8. There are 48 sheets. They are double-sided. And it says right here it contains over 320 elements. Well, that's pretty good. And here's what it looks like. So you've got these cutouts, and then on the back side you have a pattern cardstock. So we've got that, and they're just absolutely fun and charming. Here we go. Sometimes grumpy, but lots of other ways. Just absolutely dear. Let me see. There are 48 sheets. There are 12 different designs, and you're going to get 4 of each one. So that just works out nice. And then we have, okay, let me just keep going just so you get a quick look at everything. These are the ones that weren't used, and Heidi has used 2 of them, which I will show you next. So this one and this one. There you go. Now that's the 8 by 8. We also have the toppers. Now this has 8 sheets. There's going to be 2 each, and what they do is they create a collection. So here's our Super Santa. It's on a sheet called the Super Christmas. They're all foil, they're all die cut, and then they have coordinating cardstock that is called Adorable Scoreable. One sheet that has foiling, and another sheet that has just printed. And so that collects with that. And we have another one, and these are the 2 that were used. And here's the foiled, as you can see around the edges, and then the printed. And they will each match, of course, the art that is on this piece. And there are more. So here's this one, and with the matching art, and this one, also with the 2 cardstocks. So you're going to get 2 of everything, so that works nicely. And then in our Mary collection, you have 16 sheets, 2 each of 8 colors. And here are the 8 colors. So you've got a red, a green, a blue, and a deeper red, as you can see, and a kind of a goldish, kind of a burnt gold. So all of those. And then you also have a light blue, a green, another green, and a true gold. So all of that. So everything is perfectly coordinated. So now we're going to get started with what Heidi has done. And we're going to start with this card. And okay, so this is a 5 by 5. So she took our package of 5 by 6.5 inch cards and just trimmed it down to be 5 inches. And she's placed the fold at the top, as you can see. Now, although on the back, well, actually, let me show you this first. Here we have, this is this sheet as I zipped it through before. And you can see that here is our happy couple. And this does have, of course, a pattern on the back. But Heidi decided to use some papers that she had, and this is out of the Christmas Floral Plaids. Now, you don't see very much of it, so you certainly could use the back of any of the sheets in that perfect pad, but she elected to choose something else. So both of these pieces are matted on the red Mary that came from that set, as you can see. And down below, when you see this card, you can click on it and you'll get the exact dimensions. But as you can see, the first Mary set sheet was cut down just a little bit smaller than the 5-inch square. And there was a piece of the pattern cardstock, the Christmas, matted on top of it. And then the same thing with this, just trimmed out exactly the size that it is, matted on the red Mary. And she foam taped this kind of at an angle. And so while they're just really having a jolly good time, you are too. So it's just kind of twisted like that. Now, she wanted to add some words because there aren't any, well, there aren't many in the collection. And she went to our Christmas Tiny Words and Phrases. So you see the magic and the stars and the snowflakes, those are all part of this collection, and you get them in multiple colors: red, green, gold, black, and silver. And so you're just going to get hundreds, literally, of those greetings. Then on the inside of her card, she did the similar thing. Now, again, as I said, Heidi used the 6x6 Christmas floral plaids. You could use whatever you wanted or use the back of any of these papers. She did the same thing. So she went, we have our happy couple on the front. We have our grouchy guy on the inside. He's been trimmed down. Now, she did trim it down to the edge of the piece, not allowing any of the edging to show. So just did it back down to there, matted it on the red, and did the same thing. Foam taped it kind of at an angle. She added more of the tiny words and phrases. So we've got cheer, holly jolly piece, and we've got some little holly pieces on the corners and a snowflake. That took care of this. Oh, I didn't mention the ribbons. There are red ribbons, and this is from, obviously, the red ribbon set. Heidi loves to make perfect bows, and she uses Hunkydory's bow maker as an assist. And so we do take care of that, and just zotted them in place at the bottom here and at the bottom there. So that just very fun and festive card. Now, we're going to move to our second card, which is also a 5-inch square card. So she was on a roll with that. And I think because the cutouts just really lend themselves to that size. And here is the sheet that she used, just a lot of stuff going on. And there's the back of it. These are actually, it looked like a plaid to me, but it's actually dots. And that's what it says in the instructions. So she's going to use the cheering guy and the grumpy guy, showing again. And so she took her, as I said, her 5 by 6.5 inch card, was a little bit bigger, trimmed it to be 5 inches, placed the fold at the top. Then she cut this in half. So measured 2.5 inches, made a mark down here, drew a line, and just trimmed it. And that way you get kind of this shutter effect. So we're going to go with that. Now, she did use, in this case, the green, one of the green Marys. There are 2, I believe, in the collection. And so she did cut a piece, and then I would recommend that you trim him and him out before you go to the back of your sheet and use the dotted paper, because you want to make sure that you have enough. And notice that on both of them, she just trimmed right along the edge. So she got the poinsettias in, and she got that holly and berries in for him. So cut those 2. Then you've got what's left on the back, and you can cut those and mat them on the green, place them on your card, attach them, and then simply foam tape this little guy on the left and this guy on the right. That way they're kind of looking at each other. And then she did another step, and it's nice to know that there are some greetings on here. So she used the another year, another Christmas, but notice how she trimmed just around the words. She didn't get very many poinsettias. She matted that on the back of the paper, and then again onto the green Mary, and just foam taped the left side to the left side of the card, okay? And that way it just works quite nicely. Now, she did add some jewel dazzles. They are in gold and they are in red. And let's get in close so we can see. They're right at the top. You can see the red ones, the gold ones went inside the poinsettias. And you just kind of, she just uses them wherever they're going to add a nice little touch. So that's what she did. And let's go to the inside of this card. So in this, she probably went to another sheet by this point, and she is going to use this whole piece. We're going to use the poinsettias around it, but she did mat it on the back side. So again, you get 4 sheets of each one, so that's the way to use it. And then matted it again on the green Mary, attached it to her card. And notice that we see some white edge, which is the card, so that works nicely. The Christmas wishes for someone very special, that has been foam taped, just standing right there. And again, the dazzles are added. You can see them in the corner as well as on this little piece too. So that just took everything and just added a little bit more shine, which was nice. Now we're going to move into the toppers, and we're going to go back to our Super Santa. So let me pull him out here. And there he is. Now this is our full 5 by 6.5 inch, but what she did, so I'm going to open him up. You can see the snowfall acetate, which I absolutely love, and I think it makes a great front of the card. But before we get there, we need to make a card base. And in this case, she used the Adorable Scoreable. Now this is the one with the foiling, which she did not use, but she used this to be her back of her card, the inside of her card. So because this is so sturdy, you can just cut that. So it's going to be 5 by 6.5. It's going to go all the way down to the edge of the cardstock. So trim that out. That's going to be step 1. Then step 2 is going to be to take the snowfall acetate, and this is what it looks like. This is a package of 5 sheets, which we have, and we get this every year because it's just so doggone festive, and it will certainly work all through our winter season. And what she did is to cut, now this is 5 by 6.5, so she's going to cut her acetate to be 5.5. We need a little bit to go behind that background piece. So it's going to be 5.5 by 6.5. Then she put it in the Adorable Scoreboard and just scored 1/2 inch, which is exactly what I'm doing right here. You want to do that only on the left side. So we're pretending that this is acetate, okay? And we're going to fold this back along the score line. And then we're going to put extra sticky tape on the back side of this. Now, this is 1/2 inch. Heidi recommended 1/4 inch, whichever you like. Just a tip, I had a customer requesting 1/8 of an inch, and I have ordered it, so that's on its way. You're going to take the extra sticky tape, place it right along the fold, and then you're going to attach this to the back of the card, back of the Santa. And that way you'll have that, that opening, that card front. So this now becomes your card front, okay? So set those aside. Then we're going to take our die cut pieces, okay? And in this case, she has used this whole one. Now it has 3 layers. So the Santa, a gold frame, and then this decorative frame. I'm gonna pop all of those out. And we're going to attach the back 2 layers. So pull Santa out and attach these with the extra sticky tape to the center of your cardstock, or center of your acetate. And what you want to do is you want to cover up all the fun stuff that's on the inside. And then you can foam tape the center part right there. And then Heidi likes to do this, and I think it's kind of fun, where she attaches both ends of the greeting down flat, but she puts a little bit of foam tape in the middle, so we have this little bowed effect, and it does go through the mail just fine. So attach those 2 sides, have the foam tape in the middle, and just press that down at the bottom. So we've got Have a Super Christmas. And that is what she did. She did, oh, wait a second. Let me go to the inside. I lied. Okay, so we have used this part, but we have all of this left. And what she did is she traced, at this point you have an open space. So take that open space and place it over the snowfall. In fact, you can see it goes over a little bit into the border. So just whatever it needs. So place that empty area and then trace around it, cut this out, and then attach it to go over all of this, because this has got foam tape and it's got tape on it. So we want to hide all of that. And then what she did is she took this one and did the same thing with it, treated it as one piece and foam taped it over the center. And then you have another Merry Christmas, and that's just foam taped in place. She did add the gold jewel dazzles. And maybe you can see them on the edges there. And then she also added we have the Have a Super Christmas in the front. And then we have this one where it's Smile, it's Christmas. That too is foam taped, also has some gold jewel dazzles right on top of Santa. And if that S wasn't enough, she did add some jewel dazzles around it just to let you know that Santa is sparkling. So very fun. I'm sure that there's someone who would really enjoy this card. And we have our last card, and here it is. Okay, now this is our 5 by 6.5, but the fold is at the top. And there's quite a bit going on here. And this is from the set. Okay. Okay, here we go. It was just under the layers. Okay, here is the set. It's called Christmas Cheer, and it certainly is cheery, isn't it? Okay, so what she did first is she took a piece of the Miri, and this is the second red, and trimmed it to be just a little bit smaller than her 5 by 6.5 inch card. Attached that to her card, and then she did a couple of clever things, which is what we would expect. She popped out this large gold frame and attached it just within that red piece of Miri, okay? But then she pulled this piece and attached it, foam taped it, where it's hitting the top of the Miri. And so at that point, you don't have anything down here, so it's looking a little funny, but just trust the process. So we're going to foam tape that in place. And then we're going to go to another piece, and this is the Miri that is matching those ladies on the front. Now, I'm going to have you, and the directions also tell you to, we're going to take this and we're going to cover the inside of our card. And we're doing that by just placing these, putting our adhesive down on all 4 edges, placing this so that it matches 2 edges, and then folding that back, turning it over and trimming it to fit. Okay, so that way it's attached. And then we want to do that early because we have this extra area. And this is what we're going to need for the front. So this is a piece, I'm going to tell you verbally, but you want to check the instructions. It's about 1.5 inches, 1.75 inches wide, or tall, and it's certainly 6.5 inches wide. That is going to get foam taped down at the bottom, okay? So we already have her, and that's going to get foam taped. Then there is a border. In fact, there's 2. We're going to take the one that says Merry Christmas, Merry Christmas, Merry Christmas, and glue that across the top. Then we're going to take these 3 little guys, and she put them in a different layout than what they are on the die cut sheet. So she put the 2 in the middle. She put this one over here and this one over here. You can do whatever you want. And they too are foam taped. And she did make 2 little bows out of the green 1/8 inch ribbon. And you can see there's just a ton of colors in that. And she did add the gold jewel dazzles, so you can see them perhaps along her her bow on her jacket, on the corners, just wherever that's going to fit well for you. On the inside, she had, as you remember, this piece, and I think it's really clever to use the art here as something. Could be the front of your card, could be the inside. That works really nicely. There is another set. This is the foiled set. There's also a pattern set, and this goes along with one of the other people in this set, and so we're not using, whoops, that one isn't there. It's this one. Silly me. It's with the 2 guys toasting because they're right down there, and she did not use that. However, she did use 2 of the circle greetings. Never Too Old to Party, and that's foam taped right there. And Friendship and Festive Cheers is right down there, this time with red bows, still from the same package with all the multiple colors. And again, more of the gold jewel dazzles. So red and gold jewel dazzles are going to do you well. So those are our 4 cards, 2 of them using the toppers and 2 of them using the perfect picture perfect 8x8 papers. So that just works really nicely. Let me bring these back again so that you can see them. And here we go with our Merry set of 16 sheets, perfectly coordinated. Our Golden Oldies Festive Fun, you're going to get double the sheets in that. And then our Picture Perfect with 48 8x8. Wow, that's a lot of Golden Oldies fun. And I know that prior, when we had the non-Christmas set, boy, they sold out very, very quickly. So I just want you to know that. And the instructions are down below. Just click on the card. You will see the instructions. And if you happen to be watching this on YouTube, I'd love it if you would subscribe to the YouTube channel, but then head on over to paperwishes.com because we have a money saver. So if you like the collection, you can save some bucks, and it's over on the right-hand side of your screen. And as I said, the instructions are down below, so you can use that also. And I do want to thank Heidi. I love the fact that she always gives us multiple ideas and different ways to use the products, and that's what we really love. I want to thank you especially for being the very best part of Paper Wishes, and I'll see you actually again very, very soon. Bye-bye.